Guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut your pocket, like your side pocket for your pant trousers. So this is the pocket bag and this is the pocket facing. Depends on how deep you want your pocket is. I know this pocket bag looks really deep, but it depends on how deep it is, and I know we all want a pocket that when we put our phones inside, it's not going to, you know, slip away or fall out. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time and you're yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd love you to click that cute red button that says subscribe. Subscribe to my channel while you're at it, turn on the bell so you don't miss any new video whenever it goes live on my channel. And if you're an OG, thank you so much for sticking with me to this present time. You guys are the real MVPs. So guys, let us get into today's video. So the first thing you want to do is to measure 3 inches from your side seam here, 3 inches into the band. Remember, this is the front pattern of the back, so 3 inches. It depends on you. If you want, you can extend it all the way to the dart or close to the dart, but I think 3 inches is fine. Or if you feel you have big hands, you can extend it to 3.5 inches or 4 inches. From this point, from this 3 inches, I'm going to connect it down to the hip, like this hip line. I'm going to connect it down to the hip line here. Then for the pocket bag inside, from this 3 inches mark, if you like, I said, if you like, you can extend it to 4 inches. You're going to be marking at about 3.5 inches or 4 inches, depending on how deep you want your pocket is to be. You can as well go all the way to 7 inches, but I don't think you want a pocket so wide that it will be touching your zipper. So let us just do, I'm going to be marking 3.5 inches. Then from the hip line, I'm going to be going down by 4 inches, but I'm going to ensure that it's on this line, so I can decide to draw like a straight line from here all the way to the hip line, so that I know I am on the same direct point. From this line here, from the hip line, like I said, I'm going to be marking 4 inches down. You can decide to mark 6 inches, you can decide to mark 10 inches, but I don't know how long you want your pocket to get to this place, but I think 4 inches is fine, or 5 inches. So let us maintain 4 inches. To know the exact point here so that I can have a straight line, I'm going to be checking how many inches this point here is. So it's about 0.75. So I'm going to come to this straight line here too and mark 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch, so that it can help me get like a straight line. So what you want to do now is to go ahead and connect this line to this line. So I'm still going to be doing the same thing I did. I'm going to be following the lines on my ruler. I'm sure I'm getting a straight line. Then I join it here. So one thing you need to remember, that the pocket bag is usually, you've never seen any pocket bag that is straight. I'm not sure you have. So all you're going to do is to try to find a way to curve it. So that's what I am going to be doing now. Pattern master to curve it in, so I know that it is well curved. Go ahead and just erase this, like take it out. You can go higher or you can go lower. So this is how to do the pocket. So for the pocket bag, you're going to be tracing from your hip, from the beginning of your waistline down to your hip. Remember this line all the way up. This is the pocket bag. Then for the pocket facing, you're going to only be tracing the slanted line out of here all the way up. So I already added my allowances here and here. So for this pocket bag and the pocket facing, you're going to be cutting two different pieces of it. So you have to put your pattern on fold and cut out two different pieces. I always like to add allowances, round bands, pockets. That way it makes it easier for me to cut. For my regular patterns, I actually don't like to add allowances to it. So what I would advise you to do before you cut your pocket facing, after drafting it on your trouser pattern, is just to fold it in as always, and there you have it. So this is going to serve as your pocket facing, and your pocket bag is this entire place. So before you cut it off, ensure that you have traced out your pocket bag and your pocket facing, so you don't end up making mistake. So this is your pocket bag all the way from your waist to your hip, down below your crotch, up, but your pocket facing is just from here round. What you're going to be needing is the front piece of your trouser, your pocket facing, and your pocket bag. So 2 each. If you haven't seen my how to draft a trouser pattern, you should go and see that. Is where you're going to be attaching your pocket facing. The first thing you're going to do is to attach your pocket facing first before you begin to attach your pocket bag. Please ensure that you're sewing on the allowances you left. I'm going to make sure this matches, and I'm going to be sewing using 1/2 inch sewing allowance all the way. I'm going to be sewing from here all the way to the waist. You're going to be repeating the same thing for the other side. So front, when you sew, it comes in like this, then you can attach your pocket band. So I'm going to go sew this and I'll be back. So guys, I'm done sewing the pocket facing. You can see that I didn't sew all the way to the end. I stopped at the 1/2 inch that I'm going to be joining to the band, because if you sew all the way to the end, I don't know how you want to join the band. And here as well, I had to stop here, you know, because this is the part that is going to go into the hip, because this is 1 inch sewing allowance and here is 1/2 inch sewing allowance. The next thing you're going to do is to flip it over, but before you flip it over, you may need to just, you know, snipe a little bit so that it can be flat when you flip over. When you flip over, what you're going to do is to top stitch, okay, so that it is flat. You top stitch so that it is flat. Ensure that when you're top stitching, it is on the pocket bag, because if you top stitch, if you fold this into the main fabric, the line is going to show, and it's not professional. Ensure that the side seam you're top stitching is directly on the pocket bag, so that when you show, when the thread shows, it still hides inside. So I'm going to go and top stitch. Before I do that, I'm going to snipe so that it can lay flat. I'm going to do the same thing for this other side, and I'm going to be back. So this is what it is looking like after I have top stitched. You can see that the top stitch is going to be inside. You're going to go and give it a very good press before you attach the pocket bag. So the next thing you want to do now is to place your pocket bag. You're going to take your pocket bag and you're going to be placing it this way. So it's always good to label what you have, you know, to label the points. Like for here, I know this is up and I already wrote a D down here. and this is my hip. So obviously I can't be joining the hip side to the pocket side. So another thing I did, sniping it so that you can be able to do this, because you actually need to do that when you're about to sew your the two sides. So, and if you notice the two curved sides here align, so you're going to be sewing the pockets using the allowances you kept, which was 0.5 inches on this side. If you look at the pattern here, it's the same thing. So this is where the hip is, and this is where you're sewing your 0.5. So you're going to be sewing half an inch all the way from here down to the end of the pocket. So align it very well in such a way that it's going to match. Remember, it is front facing front. Know your sides, label your sides if it's going to be difficult. Guys, I am done with the sewing the pocket bag all round, and I stopped at this point. So at the point of, you know, the notching where I actually started from. Next thing you want to do after you are done, because this is how our pocket is going to be looking like inside. This is how to sew your pockets. This is how to cut and sew your pocket on your short or on your trouser, if you actually want this inseam pocket on your trouser. So just go ahead and give it a good press before you continue with the rest.